Afternoon peeps, good afternoon everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Not long to go until the big one, people, and it is a big one. Canelo versus Charlo. At the time of that fight being announced, it was Undisputed versus Undisputed. It doesn't get any bigger than that. This is a very, very special fight. Has to be top 3, top 4 fights of the year. You know what? In fact, it's probably number 2. Like, number 1 will always be Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, because we begged and waited for that fight for, 4 or 5 years. But this has to be number 2. Again, this is Undisputed versus Undisputed. This isn't a case of someone had a fight with one person and collected all those belts and became Undisputed. Canelo went around and collected those belts. Charlo went around and collected those belts. And these two fuckers are fighting on Saturday. This is, honestly, I think, going to deliver. As soon as this fight was announced, I always kind of said Canelo. Just because that's almost by default, right? Canelo's going to win. Canelo always wins, right? He's only lost to Bivol and Floyd. Unless you count the Golovkin one, that I do. But anyway, he's lost officially to Bivol and Floyd, two very, very special fighters. So as soon as Canelo fights anyone, I guess by almost by automatic presumption, we say Canelo. I am starting to swing Charlo's way, you know. I don't know what's happened. Well, maybe I do. The last week, a lot of people have been looking at Charlo's body language and they've been taking it as a negative. You know, like Charlo doesn't sound as confident as he normally is. You know, Charlo's very brash, very loud. He's a bit more quiet in the build-up. Or during the face-off, Charlo looks away first. I'm taking it as this guy is supremely confident. I'm not having Charlo scared nonsense. I don't have any fighter when they get in the ring scared. Yes, you're aware of your opponent and, you know, you've got to be careful. And there will be a bit of energy that, you know, sometimes you're a bit nervous. But I don't take it as fear. Charlo isn't scared of Canelo. And I'm starting to think maybe I read it wrong with Charlo. Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe, because I've said that Canelo's on the slide, maybe Canelo has slid enough to the point where Charlo's maybe here and rising and Canelo's maybe, I don't know. This is what we want with the big fights, right? You don't want to sort of watch a big fight and you pay your money, whether it be pay-per-view or ticket, and you know what's going to happen. You want some sort of walking up to the arena and not knowing what the fuck is going to happen. And I'm starting to kind of get that feeling with this one. Again, I've always said Canelo. For some reason, the last couple of days, I've been like, you know what? There could be something in the air. There could be something in the air. I watched highlights again of Canelo versus John Ryder. If that Canelo turns up, and some people say, and I get it, Canelo fights to his opponent's level, which isn't true, by the way. Canelo, if the opponent's shit, Canelo smashes them. I think we saw it with Rocky Fielding and we saw it with Abney yielded him. So I'm not having any excuse if Canelo fights to his level. Canelo looked like trash against John Ryder. Looked like trash. The ring was small. I don't know whose issue that was or who's decided that. And maybe he underestimated John Ryder. Maybe. So I can give him that excuse. But there's no way Canelo isn't on the slide. There's no way. I mean, he has to be on the slide. He's been fighting men since he was 15. He's had a near 20-year career. He has to be on the slide. The body has to be breaking down. Has it broke down enough for Jermell Charlo to capitalize? I'm still going to lean to Canelo just. But again, when this fight was first announced, I was like 75-25, maybe even 80-20 Canelo. Now, 60-40 Canelo? 60-40? Again, I mean, a lot of people have spoken about the fact, and I guess if you're a casual boxing fan, you probably think, yeah, but one's jumping up from 154 to 168. I'm telling you now, and I know you guys might not believe me, or some of you do believe me, I've been around both of these guys quite a few times. Canelo a lot, and Charlo a few times as well. I've seen these guys close, a couple of meters away. I've interviewed Canelo, as you guys know. There is no size difference between these two. No size. Like, their walking around weight must be the same. Canelo is undersized for 168. Charlo's far too big for 154. So they're, I think, both around the same size. On the night in the ring, it isn't going to be a case of when someone normally jumps up in weight that the bigger guy is just going to be ballooned so big he's going to just be far too big for the smaller guy. These guys will probably on the night weigh the same. In fact, Charlo might weigh a bit more. So it's not going to come down to size. It's going to come down to skill, will, grit, and experience. Skill Canelo has, will, grit, close, experience, obviously Canelo. This is a tough fight. This is a tough fight to call. Tough fight to call. Is it the end of Canelo? Like, is that, I mean, every fighter surely comes to the end where, you know, what do they say? Father time just happens in the ring. So your sparring goes well, your runs go well, everything you do in camp goes well, but father time just gets you in the ring. Would I be surprised if after nearly 20 years of doing this, that father time gets Canelo? No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. He didn't look good against Bivol. I predicted Bivol would win that one. And yes, he beat Golovkin, but that was a 40-year-old Golovkin at 168 who just looked trash. I love Golovkin, but he looked trash. And he didn't look good against John Ryder. It's been a while since we've seen the best of Canelo. It's been a while. That being said, Jermell's been out the ring for a long time with a hand injury. I don't know, but the last time we saw Jermell in the ring against Brian Castano, he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic. He shut a lot of people up. He did. I think I even predicted Castano to win that fight based on their first fight, which I thought Castano won. Charlo was like, I don't know. Looking forward to it. Again, we're not doing a live watch along. You know what? I'm disappointed I'm not there for it. Obviously, I've got work, and that will always be the thing I do the most, right? I mean, I've got a job to do, so I'm going to do what I do. But if you can, and I know it's expensive, and you know, we spoke about ticket prices on yesterday's video and flights to Vegas and hotels. I know it's expensive, but if you can kind of like budget your way to get to a Vegas fight, please do. It's the greatest thing. I mean, I've covered loads of sports. I've been lucky. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've been to Champions League finals. I've done everything, but there's nothing better than a big Vegas fight. There is nothing better. Nothing comes close. Because it isn't just the fight night, it's the whole fucking week, the build-up. All the superstar celebrities, like me as a kid watching fights, I always used to be fascinated by the ring. Like what A-list celebrities around the ring. And these people, these A-list celebrities are just walking around in Vegas. It's honestly, it's incredible. Go and experience it if you can. There aren't going to be many Canelo Alvarez fight nights left. So you're probably going to have to jump on the Javante one, which is incredible, or Spence or Crawford. But if you can get out to America for a Vegas fight night and you've not done it, trust me, it's worth every single penny. All right, where are we? Sean George, I believe Zhilei Zhang would win a Deontay Wilder fight by knockout also. Yeah, I mean, that could certainly happen. I mean, I think we know the other story could happen as well. Wilder could easily knock out Zhang. I did see something today. I've not watched the IFL TV interview where I think Eddie kind of just closed the door for now, at least anyway, on AJ Wilder happening this year. I think the site fee that they expected to get from Saudi is no longer happening. So they're looking at different sites now around the world. So, yeah. So if you're Wilder, just fight someone. I mean, I don't know what Wilder's going to do. This guy's had one round of action in nearly 2 years. Think about that. When was that Fury fight? When was the Fury fight? 2 secs. This is why it's good to have the laptop in front of you, right? You don't have to guess. You can just check it. Tyson Fury was what's this? It was the 10th of October. Have I got that? Sorry, the 9th of October, 2021. And then obviously a Delaney's fight, which was around. So yeah, that's 2 years ago. That's 2 years coming up, right? He's had one round of action in 2 years. Fucking hell, I might as well retire. Might as well retire, innit? Just retire. Sean Porter, unimpressed with F.A. Jagba. I'm over him. Yeah, me too. I'm not. He's a good fighter, but you know what it is? Sean shouldn't be over him. That's a bit. I mean, Sean's maybe over him in the thought that this guy could have been a world champion. As a good, solid heavyweight, he's that. But I think maybe coming through, I think everyone looked at the frame and the power early and maybe compared it to Wilder because they are very similar in their frame and thought, okay, yeah, but he's not that. It's not his fault. I mean, not everyone can be world elite, right? He's just a good, solid heavyweight, and that's okay. He'll make some money. He'll be in some fights, but I don't think he's going to get to where maybe coming through people thought he was going to get to. Jordan Thompson embraces the big moment in Jai Opetaia title clash. I spoke to both of these guys yesterday. Jordan's incredibly big for a cruiserweight. Where it must hurt him to get down to what's cruiser 14 stone 4, like 6'7", a big guy, big legs. When you're that big, I almost feel like your engine, you can only like really go full throttle for a couple of rounds, and then you've just got to take it easy. So Jordan's going to be very, very dangerous early. And if Jai can get through those rounds, which I expect him to get, then I expect Jai maybe to get a stoppage win. Jai is one mean looking motherfucker. Mean looking motherfucker, boy. Not the kind of guy you want to see down a dark alley. Trust me. Scary, scary looking dude. Eddie Hearn open to AJ versus Zhili Zhang showdown in China. Tired of talking about that kind of stuff. Tired of talking about it. You guys not tired of hearing about it? It does look like AJ's not going to fight again this year. I'd be very shocked if he does fight this year. You know, we were kind of told 3 fights. There are still 2 dates that I think Matchroom needs to fill. The 23rd of December and the 2nd, the 9th and the 16th are done. But they are, I think Eddie said this openly, that they are looking to announce something on the 2nd and the 23rd. The 23rd, they want to be Ben Eubank. So the 2nd is still there as a possible date. I mean, look, if you're AJ, you can fucking have your pick of whatever you want to do, right? January's there as well. So, but yeah, I doubt he's going to fight on any of those ones. They've announced the undercard. I think we spoke about this already, but they've announced the undercard for Fury versus Ngannou. I think I'm going over there. It's not been 100% confirmed yet, but I think I'm going over there. So Joseph Parker is going to take on Simon Keane. Makhmudov, who everyone talks about, 17-0, 16 knockout dude, is going to take on Argan Smakichi. Never heard of him. Fucking hell, both of these guys can hit though. This guy is 19-2, 17 knockouts. Moses Atuma's on the card as well. What else? Fabio Wardley versus David Adeleye. That's a fucking crazy fight, that one. That's a crazy fight. And Carlos Takam's on it versus Martin McCauley. So it's just all heavyweight card. I like it. Card's good. Like, minus all the bullshit. Like, minus the bullshit about Fury and Ngannou. It's a great card. It's a great heavyweight card. Fucking hell. I love that. All right, is there anything else before we wrap? Let's have a quick look. 1 sec. There's always something in it. Should we just go quickly on to... Let's go Michael Benson's Twitter page. See if there's anything that Michael Benson, good old Michael Benson's talking about. There's a picture here of Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson is the biggest cruiserweight that's ever lived, surely. Surely the biggest cruiserweight ever. A bit here about Inoue, who's going to... next fight is in December. It's going to be Undisputed, isn't he? He's going for Undisputed at super bantamweight. Fucking killer. An absolute killer. All right, guys, girls, that is it. We will do another video Sunday reacting to the fights on the weekend. Will it be an upset? Will we be talking about one of the greatest upsets? Well, it's not even one of the greatest, actually, but we'll be talking about one of the biggest upsets in recent years. I think we might be.